Hiya then folks, welcome to this episode of Boating on a Budget. If you remember, myself, the tight Yorkshireman, and my partner Dawn recently bought a 1977 narrowboat that's going to need a fair bit of work. So in this episode, we're taking the boat from its home mooring in Rotherham all the way through to a dry dock at the other side of Doncaster. Once the boat's been dry docked and we've checked all the hull, that's when the real work can begin, when we can start stripping all this roof off, gutting the insides and preparing it for the full rebuild. Remember, this boat's going to be our full-time liveaboard home, so we're going to get one chance to do the job right. But enough talk about the hard work that's ahead. Let's just get on and enjoy this cruise. This was the first time we took the boat out on a proper journey. As you've probably seen on the previous vlogs, we did take it for a little spin a couple of weeks after we bought it, but that was just up and down the canal, only sort of 20 minutes each way. This journey was going to be a whole different ball game. We had manual locks to go through, electric locks to go through, we had to encounter lift bridges and swing bridges, all things that we'd never done before, so it was going to be a learning curve for us. It didn't help either that although the journey was spread over 2 days, the first day it basically rained all day long, so we didn't really get much footage on that day. We were more concentrating on just getting us and the boat where we needed to be, safely and as dry and warm as we possibly could. So although there might not be much footage, and what there is mainly recorded from this rooftop camera that we've got, you will find that there is a couple of little bits of drama in there. At one stage coming up, I kind of randomly do a 360 degree turn for no apparent reason, and there's also a little bit of a crash. When we'd been planning the journey, we took some advice and looked in the Nicholson guide as to the best place to stop for the evening, as all in it was going to be about an 11.5-hour journey actually on the water, and especially at this time of year we thought that was probably pushing it for what we could get done in one day. It was decided that the best place to stop would be at Sprotborough on the visitor moorings there. However, as we got to Mexborough Low Lock, which is the lock before Sprotborough, there was a lock keeper on duty, and he advised that we didn't stop at those moorings, as it had been raining all day and was still forecast to continue raining. He said there was a good chance that those moorings would end up being flooded, and he might even then have to come out in the middle of the night and move us into the lock itself to keep us safe. The advice was to carry on through to Doncaster town centre locks, but obviously we'd not researched those because we'd not planned on getting that far for the night. And then as it turned out, when we got there, we actually went straight on past them. You know, going a whole 4 miles an hour, we managed to completely miss a set of moorings. So we spent the night at Long Sandal moorings, which to be fair seemed very nice, but in all honesty by the time we pulled up, wet, cold, miserable and hungry, we literally didn't go more than 5 metres away from the boat all evening. So the majority of this footage was taken on the second day. Like I say, it was a lot sunnier on the second day, and it just drizzled very slightly with rain a couple of times. So this was one of the first exciting things we had to deal with that day, and that's the lift bridge at Barnby Dun. Obviously we'd never done anything like this before, and it gave Dawn the chance to genuinely stop traffic. At the time we went through, there was nobody from CRT on duty, so that did mean Dawn had to go up, put the key in, and that set off the flashy lights and brought down the barrier. bringing all the traffic on the road to a halt. Then as the bridge comes up, I move forward in the boat. And unfortunately I was concentrating quite hard to make sure I didn't hit it. So if you're the little girl in the white van on the right hand side that was waving frantically at me, I'm sorry I didn't wave back, I didn't see you at the time. But rest assured, Dawn did give me a good telling off for not waving. A few minutes cruise past Barnbydon Lift Bridge. There's a fork in the canal, and we had to take the right hand fork. It was about the only point on the journey where we had to make sure we took the right direction, as the rest of the way you're pretty much just following the route of the canal and the river as it crisscrosses between the two. But you can't really go wrong up until this point. Although we are still obviously very new to this boating, we have sort of started to get a bit of a routine going on certain sections. One of those routines is when we come to locks. What tends to happen is I stay on the boat and steer, and Dawn gets off and does the lock. And up to this point on the journey, she'd been spoilt a bit, because most of the locks have been the electric ones. You know, put a key in, press a button, job's a good un. But as we approached this lock, which is Bramworth Lock, we noticed it was back to being a manual one. So that meant Dawn had to put the key away, get the windlass out, and get them muscles warmed up once again. As the lock was set and we were ready to go, this chap walked past and asked if we wanted to shove off, which I gratefully accepted. I think he did panic a little bit though. He thought he'd pushed me a bit too hard, as he got to Dawn as she was doing the lock, he did apologise, saying he was sorry that he pushed so hard. But don't worry mate, it was perfect, got me exactly where I needed to be. And as it turned out, we did have to kind of do the lock between us anyway. These gates were really heavy and didn't want to move at all. So it did seem a bit mean of me to just stand on the boat and watch Dawn struggle. So yes, I did get off, and as you'll see, I did help out. I guess that's what it's all about, eh? Teamwork. But I'll not say that too loud, otherwise Dawn will expect me to start cooking and things like that as well. Exiting the lock is where it started to get a little bit interesting, shall we say. Whilst operating the lock, I'd had a quick look and said to Dawn, looked like the nearest place I could pull up was a good couple of 100 metres past the lock at the end of this line of boats. But as you see, at the last minute I tried to pull in immediately after the lock, and looking at this, it went a little bit wrong. The wind took the front of the boat, and as it started spinning it round, I thought, I'm not fighting it, I'll just let it turn me. So when Dawn came and joined me, we did a little manoeuvre and got us facing the right direction again. As we cruised along, everything were going fine. The engine were working brilliantly, and I must say, I'm really impressed with that. Touch wood, so far it's not missed a beat. We were both on the back of the boat there, and from this angle you can't really tell which one of us is steering. So this is a bit of a whodunit. Because as the footage turns to show the front of the boat, we look to be going along nicely. And then hold on a minute, we're just drifting ever so slightly off course. Yeah, we want to be straightening up now. Whoever's steering needs to be straightening up. Oh, they didn't straighten up. That'll be another battle scar on the hull then. So who do you think was actually steering at that moment? Drop it in the comments below. Do you think it were me steering? Or do you think it were Dawn steering? Anyway, you've heard enough of me talking now. So for the last 2 or 3 minutes of this video, I'll leave you with James and his song, Drifting Along. And hopefully we'll see you in a week or 2, where we'll have actually started doing some work properly, because this boat will be in that dry dock and we'll be getting that hull blacked, ready for the main work to start.
I found myself drifting along through the burning sun and the pouring rain. I have the transom slouch, mug of tea in my hand. Any other life, it was dangerous, say, and I say, do 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 do. Ba da ba da ba da ba.